All right, basketball season's right around the corner, and we have Luke Ertel from Mount Vernon joining us here tonight. Luke coming off a really strong junior year with Mount Vernon, and I'm sure looking forward to your senior year, right, Luke? You're looking forward to your
Yes,
senior.
sir. Yep.
That's an easy question, but you're about 2 weeks away from practice now, and I know teams, are able to do some stuff during the off season, a couple times a week, and do some conditioning. When you look at last year and your journey ended at as close as you could get to the state finals and not make
Right.
it, had a great run there to the semi-state of Newcastle, but how much does that carry over? I was curious, like how much does that carry over to this year, or is it totally a blank slate for you guys going into this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think we only had three guys come back this year who like actually played on the team. So for a lot of our team, it's kind of like, how do we get them up to speed, and how do I like talk and practice more and to become a leader. And it also is good because we have that experience now of making the semi-state, and we kind of have that taste of it, and we know what it takes, a little bit. So and it makes it more like enticing. You got a little taste of it, now you want the whole thing. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Knowing how you're sort of wired and having covered you the last few years, I mean that I'm sure that last game is something you don't really enjoy thinking about. But do you go back and watch that, or how do you kind of go back and think about that Jeffersonville game?
Yeah, I mean, I went back and watched it after a couple of weeks of just chilling, and we were right there. So and they ended up winning the state, obviously. And it's just about making a couple plays here and there, and just conditioning and making sure you're in tip top shape till the very end of the game, because we were right there and it kind of slipped through the cracks, and maybe could have made a couple more plays down the stretch on my end, but that's just basketball. So yeah.
And I think I was talking to Cooper and Jason, who lost to those guys in the next round. That Jeffersonville team, I think, will go down. I think we'll find out. Trey and I think we knew this already, but Trey and Michael Cooper are going to be pretty good college players, I think. And that was a great game. I mean, you guys were right there, right towards the end of the game, and obviously, like you said, a couple things go differently. Who knows, what happens? But going back even before that, your tournament run, pretty special. You guys had to knock out some really good teams along the way, including that sectional championship night at Muncie Fieldhouse against Greenfield Central. Very memorable game for you and Braylon Mullins, who ended his career with winning Mr. Basketball. But how much you think back to that game? I'm sure that's a game you probably enjoy going back and looking at.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the high. I mean, nothing could really top that game. I mean, obviously, if we won the state championship, but just the fact it was double overtime, it was against the Mr. Basketball. So and like just the whole dramatics of it, we were rivals and all that. But yeah, so it was a great game, and great memory. So it's kind of like it gives us experience. It gives you that like feeling of winning a sectional, and then motivating your guys this year to be like, hey, if we do everything right, like, hey, we can do this again, and we can go further. So it's the best feeling in the world win a sectional and then move on. So yeah, it was awesome.
And to kind of like Luke said at the beginning, you guys are losing a really good senior class that contributed a lot to your success last year. You do have Max Weiss coming back, who was a big part of that team. How does this team look to you as you kind of assess things going through the summer and then getting ready here in the fall?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna have a lot of young guys come in, and they're gonna have to get used to the speed originally. But I think a guy like Max, I think he's gotten a ton better. He's moving better. He's handling it. He's got more athletic. So I think he'll make a big jump this year for us. And some of the guys I like Ben Schaefer. He'll have a good year for us this year, I think. And the rest of the guys are know they know what they're good at, what they're not, know their strengths. So yeah, I think it'll be good.
I know you obviously your role is going to be a big one this year. What do you maybe you see? What's something that you feel like I can do differently this year, maybe than I've done in the past, or what's kind of your focus that way, looking at your senior season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I want to score, but I think one of the things I can get a lot better at this year is just dominating the game on defense. Having the game slow down, seeing passes and things of that nature. So, it's going to be hard to scout me. I can do different things, and I'm very versatile. So, yeah, I think scoring is obviously important, but I want to do more of the little things this year, the defensive end and being our true point guard. So, and then I'm obviously, going to have to score when my team needs it. So,
and from a leadership standpoint too, I know that's something that, we talked about last year, but you did have that senior class, and I know you had guys who filled that role as well as you did, but is that even more so now? Are you find yourself kind of taking on that role even more?
Yeah, this year, I have to be more vocal. Last year, it was like, okay, in practice, the seniors can do it in the game. I'll be vocal. But now it's like, okay, now I got to be vocal throughout the whole practice. Dudes know what they're doing. Coaches pushing me in different ways to, kind of, step into that leadership role. So, and I think that'll help prepare me for college too, when I have to, be a leader and, playing guard, so in college. So I think it'll really prepare me, but it's definitely new. So
I know, obviously Purdue fans are excited about you, excited about the upcoming season for their team, obviously with what they have coming back with Braden and all those guys. But how much do you think about Purdue, as you kind of getting ready this next year, and then leading into that first year at Purdue, how much are you kind of also preparing for that?
Yeah, I mean, like you said earlier, when you asked me like what I'm trying to work on for this year, just kind of, really working on my defense, really working on my passing, just kind of becoming an all around player. So, when I get to Purdue, it's like tough to, I can do both many things. So I can't really, I can get more playing time early on. If I can do all those little things, I can shoot at a high level, I can defend, I can pass, I can run the team. So that'll just doing those things, it'll make it harder for me to take me out the game when I get to that next level. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. So
I know you have high expectations of yourself. I mean, how do you watch Braden a lot? Do you try to take things that maybe he's doing, or are you just kind of you're a different player, obviously. But I mean, maybe there's other people you watch as well, but do you kind of see what he's doing and maybe try to implement that into your game?
Yeah, actually, I played against him in the summer for the first time, kind of like an open gym, and seeing how like while I'm guarding him, he's not even worried about me. He just eyes are on what's going on, where the passes should be made. He's never sped up. So just seeing that in person and actually getting to guard him was really good for me, and just allowed me to see like, okay, that's the level I need to get at. So just his pace, the way he sees the game, are all things that I kind of took away from that, and I was like, it's possible to do. So yeah.
What's guarding him? What was the hardest thing about trying to accomplish that feat?
I mean, I think I held my own, but he's obviously just really quick. That's the thing I really took away too. Just he's lightning quick, but yeah, I mean, I could guard him a little bit. So,
well, yeah, it's fun to cover both of you. I know how competitive both of you guys are, and people ask, what's the similarities, I guess, between you two, and to me, that's the number one thing. I mean, there's different things about your game, but both of those guys are very wired the same way, in my opinion. But do you sense that from Braden? I mean, that's something I think that's pretty, even for a high school kid, very unique for him when he was playing in high school.
Yeah. I mean, he's super competitive. Just watching him play, So, that goes for any guard. You have to be, because at any moment, like you can get basketball, somebody can, beat you up real quick. So You gotta be that every time.
How did your summer go, Luke? Did you feel like you had a pretty good AAU experience? I know you were injured a little bit during the Charlie Hughes and couldn't finish it, but looked like you had a really good July.
Yeah, it was good this year in AAU. Kind of was able to have the ball in my hands and kind of, really play, point guard with a lot of really good players. Anthony Thompson, Dikembe Shaw, who's at Crown Point. Two of those guys were really good, but just kind of being able to spread the ball, get them in places, and then also you're playing against really high level guys, and it's gonna prepare me. It's kind of like more like college with the length and all that. So it was really good, and I felt like I was comfortable and was able to have a good July and all that.
Who are some guys to look out for on your Mount Vernon team this year?
Yeah, so I really think, Max is going to have a great year, with just how well he moves and how tall he is. I think, uh, Ben Schaefer and Owen Doherty are going to be really good, shooters. I think they're really going to space the floor for us. And I think Brady Weber will be a really good glue guy for us as well.
Yeah, Owen can light it up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
When you look at last year, and I kind of asked you this at the beginning, but is there positive momentum you can take from that? Like knowing you won a couple titles, you won a sectional title, you won a regional title. Does that momentum, what does that do for a program?
Yeah, it's really good. Like even our kids camp, there's a ton more kids once we, kind of went far, and the excitement's kind of building in the community. So, and our younger kids, we've been coaching them all fall. They've been, they're pretty good. So I really like the state of the basketball program, and I just got to continue that momentum and know that coach always says nothing's promised. Like, you win one year, it doesn't really matter the next year. So, yeah, I really like, how it's going. We're getting excitement in the community, so just got to keep it rolling.
And there was one more I was going to, Mr. Basketball. How much do you think about that, or that honor is something that seems attainable for you? Is that something you think much about?
Yeah, I mean, I think about that. Everyone's dream is to win Mr. Basketball, I think, if you play basketball in Indiana. So, I think if we win and we go far and do all that, I have a good chance of winning. So, yeah, that's definitely a big goal.
Well, thanks a lot, Luke Ertel from Mount Vernon, senior point guard. And like I said, before long, we'll be in the gym covering games, which is good because it's getting cold outside. So I appreciate that. But thanks again, Luke.
Yes, sir.